Hello and welcome to episode 41 of Hiss and Tell podcast. I am your host, cat behaviorist Christina Wilson. Today I am talking with Sterling TrapKing Davis, one of the most recognizable faces in humane cat advocacy. We had a really long, really great discussion, which I had to edit a lot, but in this episode you're going to listen to us talk about diversity in animal welfare, the truth about TNR, and how compassion might be one of the most radical and misunderstood forms of strength. Here we go. Welcome to another episode of Hiss and Tell. I am your host, Christina Wilson, and with me today is Sterling TrapKing Davis. Welcome, Sterling. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about your story, how it's so unique? You went from music to military service to animal advocacy. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've done music my whole life, so that's always been my thing. I've always loved cats, but I didn't know anything about cat rescue. It took me a long time to even own a cat because when I was growing up, my family wouldn't get me cats. It was, yeah, after the military. I think going into the military is what put me in the mind frame of wanting to live a life of service to some extent to help.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, kind of led me to cat rescue. And once I got out the military and I got a cat, I did everything wrong with the cat. That kind of made me want to educate and help people that didn't know. Cause it was so many things I didn't know about cats. Like I didn't
Sure.
know that you should adopt, not shop, that you shouldn't declaw, different foods, everything. Like I went
Mm-hmm.
about it the whole wrong way, but I was thinking, hey, I'm a vegetarian and I love animals, so I'm doing this right. But I
Yeah.
absolutely wasn't doing it right.
I mean, I think a lot of us kind of started that way. I also grew up in a no pet household. And then in early college, my roommate just came home with a cat. And I was like, what? And I also was a vegetarian since I was a little kid. But everything I did from jump was wrong,
Yeah.
And I look back on a lot of this stuff, just be like, oh, God. But, you have to start somewhere. And I think the important thing is that you learn and you improve and you keep moving and you keep it pushing and you continue doing continuing education. And that's the important thing. So
Yeah.
that all makes sense to me. How did your kind of early experiences with cats shape who you are today? I know we just touched on it a little bit, but
So it goes pretty deep
mhm.
early on with cats for me because growing up, I grew up in rough, underserved neighborhoods. I was abused as a child. So the man that my mother was with, my sister's dad, he probably beat me and my mom for some years, probably about 7, 8 years this went
Ugh.
on. So a lot of times, like, you don't want to go, kids back then, because I'm old. I don't want to tell my exact age, but I'm old.
I think you and I are both old.
So back in the
It's
day, kids
okay.
wanted we probably come from the time where kids wanted to stay outside
Mhm.
all day. Like the street lights had to come on to let me know that I have to be in. So with growing up in an abusive household, I would definitely want to stay outside and I would feed and see the stray cats. I would see them and I would feed them. And it was almost like from that point, it was like, oh, I don't have a voice in my house. I don't have nobody that's going to come save me from my abusive situation. These cats don't have nobody that's going to save them. Like,
Mhm.
they don't have no voice, they don't have nothing, so we're 1 and 1. It's like it made me think back even like Michael Jackson had a song called Ben, and the song is, it's his relationship with a pet rat that was in his house, and he took care of the rat, and, like, that whole song was about that rat. It's hard for people to understand that sometimes, but especially going through abusive situations and you have somebody like that, like, for me, that was our connection. I felt like the cats was kinda I could relate to them, they could relate to me, so it made sense. So that kinda started with the love of cats, but I still didn't know about rescue. I
Yeah.
just I just knew I love cats, I knew I love animals, but I didn't know nothing about rescue. I just knew they had it rough and nobody was speaking for them, and I had it rough and nobody was speaking for me, so we on the same team.
Man, I get that, and I think a lot of people something that doesn't get discussed a lot, but I hope that it will get discussed more, and I think with younger generations it is getting discussed more, is that so many people who work in animal advocacy spaces come from that type of background. That
Yeah.
people work with animals because they have a history, especially of early childhood trauma and abuse, and animals, therefore, they tend to understand them more and they wanna help, but they also have a wariness towards people. And
Yeah.
so that combines into people looking for caring professionals with non-human animals. And there's so much of that in the just animal caring professions, and volunteer work, and then that leads to a lot of the time, unfortunate, like, some interesting interpersonal issues between
Yeah.
a
Yes.
lot of people working in these spaces,
Yes.
and I a little bit wish that I think I've said this on, like, other episodes, that I kinda wish that there was, like, how to get along with other people class that, like, people had to take, or just how to express yourself, in a non-combative manner sort of classes that we all had to take, right? Because so that you don't have to get
Yes.
to, like, this big age to be able to regulate yourself, to be
Yes.
able to work with each other, because while you're trying to work for the best for the animals, you still have to work with all these people, and you can't be getting into
Right.
crazy fights and stuff all
Oh
the
my
time.
goodness.
And
Oh
I'm
my
sure,
goodness.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's just a lot of that. Without going too much, there is so much. There's
It's
just a lot of conflict.
yeah, it's a lot of I mean, I'm always TNR doing TNR boots on the ground education, but a lot of what I'm focusing on is that relationships between rescuers. It's a doozy.
It is
It's a
it is
doozy.
a doozy,
It's
and
a doozy.
it's so that you're using that word. I think we're very much the same age. I think. Oh, yeah, but I really do think that the younger generations of people have a pretty good handle on this, and because they're much more open to kind of talking about their trauma, they don't have a lot of those doors closed like people maybe of our generation had a lot of doors closed to talking about therapy or going to therapy or talking about mental health or talking about mental illness, that, like, the younger generations seem more open to talking about, "Hey, this is my trauma, and this is why I'm here, and
Yeah,
let's all get on the same page, and let's co-regulate, and let's do these things that I think will eventually be really helpful to not having so much interagency and inter-advocacy conflict."
right. Yeah. I do
So,
love
I don't know.
I do love that the younger generation is a lot more into everything,
Mhm.
expression and dealing with trauma because like I say before, where me growing up, you didn't talk about it, especially being a black man. You
Yeah.
you just you stay strong. You don't talk about that. You don't cry. You don't show emotion. You just push forward. You bury it deep down inside,
Yes.
and then you just
Yeah.
push forward.
You left a successful music career to start TrapKing Humane Cat Solutions. So, what were the biggest challenges in kind of making that transition?
Well, it wasn't that difficult actually. It was a little difficult, and I don't wanna say I was, like, very successful. I was best point. I was at my highest point in
Yeah.
my career. I was around my buddy Jaron Benton, who brought me to this tour that I was on
Mhm.
at the time, and he was successful. He still is successful. And Tech Nine, I was on tour with Tech Nine. Tech Nine is successful. So I was at a point where all my hard work was probably about to start paying off. I was starting to get noticed a little bit for music. And then in between that music tour, when I went and just tried to find something to do, because you don't want to do nothing. You don't want to, in
Yeah.
between music tours, you don't want to sit and do nothing because you'll just get in trouble and spend a lot of money. Like you need to do something. So I went to the local rescue, and since I had my cat at the time, Rick James, I was like, "Oh, I could go scoop some cat litter for a couple months before I go back on tour. That's a simple, easy job. I like cats. It'll be easy." But that it was a game changer because for one, when I went there and I interviewed, I was like in a shirt and tie. I shouldn't have wore that. And then they interviewed me in a room with a bunch of cats. So she's asking me questions and I'm just picking up the cats like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh, what did you say? What was that question again? I'm so sorry. What did you say?" And she's like, "I'm asking you this." And I'm like, "Oh, but look at this little boy." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Look at he's gonna fall." She's like, I'm asking you these questions." And she told me, "You did really bad the whole interview, like, but I don't we don't get to see a lot of men like you
Mhm.
with cats like that. Like, even when I came in, it was like, we thought you was coming to work with the dogs." So when I saw that there was no men even in the
Mhm.
cat department, I was the only man in the cat department, and I was the only black
Yep.
person in the cat department. So it was like, even the dog guys would come ask me like, "Why you up here? Oh, you trying to get with the ladies, huh? That's why you working with the cats." And I'm like, "Why can't I just like the
I
cats?"
know.
why can't I just like the cats? I haven't even looked at these girls. I'm literally here for the cats. I like cats. So but I saw that and I saw how rare it was. Like for me, like I was so rare that I was like, when they taught me about rescue and TNR and everybody doing it was just an older white woman,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my God, like, so how much we're missing a lot of help if only one demographic is doing this. All this stuff that I'm seeing is literally one demographic doing it. And so I'm like, man, if we could get men like and black people doing this would be crazy. Like it'd be so much more help because all the women that trained me were older white women that were burning out.
Yep.
They were in the middle of burning out as they're training me. Like my friend Mickey Blair, Mickey taught me everything. Her last words that she said, she literally threw her notebook at me and was like, take this. Maybe you can do it because I can't handle it no more. People are
Yeah.
stupid. Maybe they'll listen to you because you're a man, but I'm done. And she just she literally left after that and just burnt out. I've never seen Mickey again.
The
So
compassion fatigue is hard. You really
it's
can burn out like super hard like that.
It's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot. And
Well,
so that was probably my main thing is seeing
yeah.
that, is wanting to diversify, is wanting to get more men, more people of color engaged in it because it was so many people just had no idea what it was or what it was about or that these women are doing it.
Why do you think it's such a I mean, I have plenty of my own thoughts on this, but, like, why do you think that cats are such a, like, weird thing for men to be involved with? Do you think it's because people have this idea that they're not trainable like dogs or, like, dogs are masculine and cats are feminine? Or what do you think the deal is with dudes and cats?
It's everything.
Is it the
I think it's a
consent
lot.
thing?
It's a lot
Yeah.
of things. So I think because I have 5 sisters, and I could tell you from growing up with and having 5 sisters, I don't wanna go too deep, but
Yeah, yeah.
putting the gender on animals like that tells a lot about how this country feels about women.
Mhm.
So I think it has a lot to do with that. It's hypermasculinity. It is the training thing. People think that you can't train a cat, and you probably, I mean, train maybe isn't the word. They're probably training you, but
Both.
you can do this, and that it's the outgoing thing too. It's the outgoing. You think with a dog, I could go outside, I could be active, I could do this.
Mm.
I can't do that with a cat. And it's definitely the consent because I tell all my sisters,
Mhm.
as a cat dad, you understand boundaries. Cats, you have boundaries. With a dog, y'all just get all on each other's face and it's all good. It's no boundaries. It's no
Yeah.
consent. With a cat, you have to approach like you can't just no. You have to here's my hand. You can smell it. You know, it's consent. So I think it's a lot of stuff. But the hyper masculine part of it, the consent part, those are things. And I think it unfortunately it says a lot about what we feel about women in this country because we put that gender on it and then we make it everything bad. It's kind of
Mhm.
it's a lot. It's weird. I had to tell some young guys the other day, like, because they were doing that. A boy told me that he thought all dogs were males, all cats were females. That's what he thought.
Yeah.
That's what he understood. And so for that, he thought that cats were weak and just wasn't as cool. And I broke down the Black Panther, like the movie. I was like, you like the
Mm.
Black Panther? You liked it. It's a superhero. And he was like, yeah, the Black Panther's crazy. I was like, that's a cat. The panther is a cat. And a lion is the king of the jungle. There's no dog that's going to beat that cat. So think about that when you think, oh, it's just weak or women or cats or all of this stuff is weak. Just know it goes a little deeper than that. So I think it has a lot. A lot plays into those stereotypes. Because even with me growing up, my uncles would always be like, Sterling out there with those cats again. He act like a little girl, and
Yeah.
he want to wear his hair like this. He's painting his fingernails again. Like it's a lot of hyper masculinity around it, which is the craziest thing in the world. Because I would say, not just because I'm a cat dad, I think some of the best men are probably cat dads, if only for the consent thing, if only
No, I
understanding
agree.
boundaries. So
I
yeah.
100% agree, and I feel like we could do a whole podcast just on what we just touched on
Oh
right
yeah.
there, right? Like, we could have, like, a whole separate podcast that's just that for seasons.
Just that.
It would
It could
go
be
forever.
ongoing. Yeah,
That's what
it
I
would be
mean, yeah.
ongoing.
It will go on to infinity because America is so crazy. So your nonprofit, it focuses on humane TNR. So can you, for people who may not be familiar with it, explain what TNR is, why it's important, and then what do you mean by humane TNR?
So TNR is trap, neuter, return. It's the process of, well, it's to prevent overpopulation and spread disease amongst cats.
Right.
So it's the process where cats are caught in humane traps. They're taken to low-cost spay neuter clinics. They're spayed, neutered, vaccinated, and they're returned back to their colony. And this prevents overpopulation and spread disease. It's very important. The R is extremely important because it is important that they are returned back to their colony. Going to new areas can be dangerous. The cats in that area are going to be like, oh, you here for mates and food. We got to take you out. So it's important that the cat is returned to familiar area, familiar smells, sights, and everything. And another part that's not a part of TNR, you don't hear that a lot, but maintain. It's very important to also, after you do TNR, to maintain that colony. And that's one of the humane parts about it.
Mm-hmm.
The humane things about it is it's controlling the population. Before a lot of amazing women was out doing this, we were just euthanizing.
Yeah.
So the humane part is that we are controlling the population in a humane manner. They're not being euthanized or hurt. And also a part of that humanity too is the maintenance after the TNR, like feed them out of sight, out of mind in bushes where they're not out in the open for people to hurt them or in danger and things like that. So maintaining the colony as well.
Right. And I think that includes, I know you're in California, so you don't have to worry about cold weather so much. But at least here, I'm in Connecticut now. We have, at least on our property, we have 5 feral houses, filled with straw because right now we have sub-zero temperatures and 3 feet of snow, digging paths for them so they can get out. They can get to their heated water bowls, to their food, to and from their shelters, maintaining the food, maintaining the shelters, all of that jazz as well. And then if you're able to handle them at all, doing like a yearly deworming, etc., because they do pick up a lot of stuff being out there.
My colony outside, I monitor them and keep up with them and their health as much as possible. I just had a health scare because one of my cats, Orange Boy named Method Man, he didn't eat for a couple days, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But he ate this morning, finished his bowl, so it was like, oh my goodness, okay, because I got one at the vet now. I don't need.
You don't need more.
No.
Ugh, yeah, whenever cats don't eat, that's awful. I always, go to the most dramatic scenario, and my wife is always like, "Just calm down, it's always okay," and I'm like, "No, we have to trap them, we have to take them to the emergency vet," just chill out. I'm like, I can't, I'm
If they
insane.
eating and pooping, I can breathe. If they stop eating and pooping, then I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna overdo it.
I have that problem as well. Maybe we should start texting each other.
Right. Just like breathe,
Yeah.
breathe. I'm like, oh goodness.
I know. Or when one of them doesn't show up. So we have all these cats who just come onto our property. And so we've done so much TNR. And of course, we name them all stupid names. Like one of them is Mr. PP because he used to just piss around the house and upset all of our guys, right? So when we TNR'd him, and then he's been coming for a couple of years. And then there was 6 months where he didn't come. And I was like, oh no, a coyote got him or a bear got him or something. And then he just showed right back up again, super fat. And just hey, it's me. But now, if he doesn't, he didn't show up last night. And I was like, oh no, Mr. BB's got it. He loves to just scare the crap out of me. Yeah. And then he'll just show up.
They do. I'm literally waiting on 3. I've had 3 disappear and 3 new ones come, but I'm waiting on the 3. And it's always like that. Anytime, any colony I've cared for, a cat will go, you'll panic, and they'll waltz back up 2 months later, hey, what's wrong with you? And it's I almost killed somebody about you.
They're just out there doing side quests. Right. I don't know what they're up to. They're just going on a vacation. I don't know where he's got the money to wherever he's going, Jamaica or whatever he's doing. Or he's getting fat and sassy. But I don't appreciate it.
I'm fussing.
Anyway, yeah.
I fussed. I'm like, I want to know who's giving you this type of wet food all the time, every day. 2 times a day, this type of wet food? Show me them. What's more important than this for you to be gone that long?
I know. I want to know about Mr. P because he came back fat, fat, and he has stayed fat. So he's clearly working some
Oh,
people.
yeah.
Or somebody else trapped him and then tried to domesticate him, and he was just like, he's got some legendary side eye. Anyway,
It
okay, so I want to get back to what we talked about a little bit before we started recording, which was that part of your mission is breaking stereotypes about who participates in animal welfare work. And I want to know what that has looked like on the ground in diverse communities for you, and just talk about kind of diversity in animal welfare in general.
Yeah, I think it's been going good. Lot of what I've been doing, or lot of what I've planned to do, I feel like I have been able to do to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
As far as having men see this, having men see me and say, "Oh, I can do that without my masculinity dropping off and,
Yeah.
being unattractive or whatever. I can do this." So I've seen it. Some of it is in weird, wrong ways. Like I'll be out trapping with a bunch of ladies all night. I even made a song about it called "Me and Your Mama Be Trapping," a rap song just to mess with men about it. Like, if you don't like me out with your mama all night, maybe you should come with us or come with her. So, but a lot of it, so many guys have reached out and like, "You was out with all those ladies all night? Like, just you?" And I'm thinking, "Yeah, but," and I'm like, "You know what? Yep, I am. I'm out with all those ladies. And if you do TNR, you could probably be out with all these ladies too. Yeah, you
Yeah.
should do it." I'm not gonna tell you that all of them are actually lesbians and none of them like me like that, but
I was
yeah,
gonna
I
say.
was out I was out all night with those women. Yep. If that's what you wanna do, if that'll get you to do TNR, yeah, come on out.
Yeah.
I won't mention to you that every one of them with purple hair are lesbians and don't want me at all. But if that's what's gonna get you to come out, great,
Listen,
do
some of
it.
us are bisexual. You never know. So, there's let's not have any bi erasure on the podcast. But yeah,
It's just so funny because I've seen some of it, not always for the right reasons, but
yeah.
I've definitely seen a change, and I've seen uh, a change as far as people understanding. Because a lot of times in underserved communities, you'll see a dead cat in the street or a possum or a
Mhm.
raccoon, and growing up with that, and you see it there, they don't come clean it up, so it'll sit there until it's just smashed in the part of
Yep.
the street almost. So they people grow up desensitized to it.
Mhm.
It's just another thing. So a lot of just seeing me out and interacting with the cat, I've seen behaviors change as far as, "Oh, wow, that is bad that the cat was laid dead out there in the street like that. Like, we should do this." It's not as I see people as not in underserved communities, not as desensitized and feeling seen. If people see themselves, then they can see, okay, it was like what Barack being president. I saw him
Mhm.
president and I felt like, "Oh man, maybe I could do more in life if he's doing that.
Sure.
Maybe I can do more." So to see someone doing that, I think it's helped out a lot, just seeing a man go out and be compassionate. I'm still cool. I rap, but I'm compassionate. I'm not some hyper masculine dude that can't help. And I think seeing that and learning education. I've had so many people in underserved communities come to me and they're afraid of their local rescue, or
Yeah.
they're afraid of animal control because I'll go and they'll say, "Man, they came over here and they won't give me no food or help me or nothing, but then they fined me. They gave me a ticket and they said my dog is tethered to a tree." And he's like, "I don't even know what tethered means." And I'm like, "That's messed up because they gave this
Yeah.
man a ticket. They didn't educate him." I was like, "Your dog is tied to the tree. Don't do that. That's tethered. That's why they find you. And it is wrong for you to do that. But I wish they would have explained to you the correct way to go about it instead of just giving you a ticket." Because once that happens, they just, they don't want to work with the local rescue. They don't want to
Of
work with animal
course.
control. It's like, you
Yeah.
just find me, so you're after me now. So now I don't want to have a relationship with you. So what I've been doing, one of the main things that I take pride in is being better at building that relationship between the underserved communities and the local animal rescue, because they are there to help you.
Yeah.
There's just not a connection. They're not connected. They don't know how to communicate as much. So I like being that bridge.
Of course. And I think, kind of like we said, the communication can be problematic sometimes, which with with people in this space. My wife and I, before we moved here to Connecticut, we lived in a very underserved neighborhood in the city, and I lived there for 20 years. And so before I started doing cat work or just animal work there, I just really got to know everyone in the community. Like I knew the dealers, I knew the grandmas who played dominoes on the street, I knew everybody with the pit bulls who, like, we
Yeah.
adopted a pit bull, so we just knew everybody, and we became known as, oh, those crazy white cat ladies, right? But then we were able to have people, we knew all the kids on the street. So then people were able to come to our house, knock on the door, and be like, hey, there's a situation, or this deli has a bunch of kittens they're just giving away. Can you come help? So people would come then and ask for help. And it was so much more effective that way, to have people be able to come and be your friend and see you as someone who would help versus somebody who's just coming out like yelling at people. And I think we were
Yeah.
able to do so much more work that way,
Yeah.
rather than, I think, somebody who's not in the community just coming in and kind of barking. Because that's
Yeah.
nobody's, I would close my ears to that. If somebody just came
Right.
in my house like screaming at me about something, I'd be like, why don't you just get out of my house?
Yeah, get
I don't
out.
want to hear that.
Dare you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I again wish that there was some kind of a class or some kind of an instructions for how people could embed themselves within communities before trying to go
Yeah.
in and start this work, because then the community is really going to help itself.
Right.
And
Yeah, I mean, being a part of the community, one thing that I love working a group that I've worked with a lot, named CARE. It's called CARE,
Mhm,
Companions and Animals for Reform and Equity. It's CARE. And one of the things that they would always preach about going into underserved communities as far as animals that I love is you have outreach, but this was in reach. They would do
mhm,
what they call was in reach. And basically what it was what you were saying is you reach in the community and find someone that your person. You get your
mhm.
person and you go through them versus coming in the community. You reach in the community and you get that person. And that's something that I've found, what works for me is I would go in different neighborhoods in my RV and I would just have contests for the children in the apartment complex. So I would tell them, okay, whoever text messages me first, let me know that one of these traps is full, you get $20. Whoever
Mm.
texts me second, you get $15. Whoever third, you get $10. We don't have a lot of money in rescue, so I can only do that
Yeah.
like once or twice. But after like the second time I do it, and I come in and I drive in, this cat's running on the side of my vehicle
Yeah.
with a cat in their hand, like the
Yeah.
ice cream truck. Like, can I get money for this? Can I get money? And then when I tell the kids in this community, well, I can't do that anymore. I don't have that, so I'm not gonna be able to run the contest no more. Then all the kids stop, but it's like one or two, and that's your trap queen. That's your
Mhm.
trap king. They gonna grow up. They gonna be in it. They gonna get their parents too. They gonna go talk to their parents, and they gonna be like, "Trap King said you don't lose cool points for compassion, or you gotta help the cats." And the parents gonna have to say, "Okay, who I need to see about this bald tattoo dude out here talking to these kids. Like, what is
Yeah.
this? What's up with the cats?" And then the parents get into it, and it helps. It helps a lot. So I really like what you said. The being a part of the community or having someone that's a part of the community to help explain it. Because when we go in and we're in uniform and we jump out the van like the A-team and start doing
Yeah.
this, we're ending it. We're not going to be able to talk to them at all after that.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. They'll never take you seriously after that. So that's definitely a big thing. I do think the in reach or having somebody in the community is a big deal.
That's true. Okay, so what does a typical day look like for you? Are you trapping? Are you educating? What are you up to on a typical day?
Typical day, every day is a new challenge or a new adventure. But usually for me, I'm getting up and like before I even get out the bed, I'm laying there going through emails. I get a lot of emails from different cities, from different states. People want me
Mhm.
to help them pay for TNRs, or they want me to come do TNRs, or it's an educational event, things like that. So I go through emails, get up. If I have some surgery spots, then I'm going out to trap. The surgery spots will usually be tomorrow, of course. So if I have surgery
Mhm.
spots for tomorrow, trapping the night. I usually trap pretty much all night if I'm trapping in the area. It's usually a colony. You want to focus on a colony at a time.
Mhm.
So I'm probably trapping, staying at that colony. Intake is usually between 7 and Some places maybe 9. 9 is late. Usually intake is a lot earlier. It's usually 7
Yeah.
o'clock. So you up early, dropping the cats off, and just educating. I try to make time for social media. I'm not like I said, I'm older, so I grew up when I was growing up, there was no cell phones or internet when I was in high
Mhm.
school. So I would never call myself internet savvy. Everybody like, you an influencer. And I'm like, I guess I don't really know what I'm doing that much. I think I just know famous people. But that's a typical day. That's me. I'll try to do some social media in between, pick up. You're going to pick up the cats. With males, cats, they can heal 24 hours. The surgery isn't as
Mhm.
extensive. Female cats usually 48 hours. Let them heal, and then I'll be returning them. Try to make my videos. I like to have the cats run out, just like cool new music, like running out of the trap, like
Yeah.
with some new rap music or something playing. So that's a typical day. Answer emails during the rescue, and of course, 2 times a day, I still have my indoor cats, my babies, and my outdoor. The King's Cloud are outside, who I
Mhm.
feed twice a day. So yeah, that's a typical day for me.
So, I wanted to, since we were kind of talking about behavior already, talk a little bit about behavior since this is the behavior podcast.
Fair.
So, when you're trapping in the same colonies, do you notice individual behavior differences in the cats? Do you notice that there's especially bold cats or cats who are like more hidey or like different
Oh
group
yeah.
dynamics?
Oh yeah. That it's always I usually can see I can tell the pecking orders kind of fast
Mhm.
usually because the pecking orders is usually the big tuxedo boy or the big orange boy.
Mhm.
The smarter ones is usually the calicos, the girls. They're always smarter. Like that's like a real thing. The girls always seem to be smarter. I've had moms sit by the trap, outside the trap, and stop her
Mhm.
babies from going, her little ones from going in. And I was like,
Wow.
oh my God, you're doing like you really gonna sit by the trap and they'll just walk up and then smell the food in there and she'll be like, nope,
Yeah.
watch out. And I'm like, so it's you, I gotta get you. So I
Ugh.
definitely certain behaviors, like the orange boys are always the go-getters, the
Social,
daredevils.
yeah.
Yeah, they more social. They gonna do the crazy stuff. The calicos they're usually like the moms, the smart ones. They probably better at hunting, but they're not gonna let you get up on them. They don't
Mm.
usually. They smarter than that. The orange boys are the ones that'll be dumb enough to walk up to anybody. It's always them. The one in my colony now, the orange boy in my colony now, the Method Man. He just runs in. The first time I fed, I opened the door, he just ran in the house, and I was like, "Well, that's smart. You don't even know
Yeah.
what's in here." He just, I'm going. That's the orange boys for you. They are
Yeah.
they go. The Siamese, I don't haven't ran into more Siamese more lately, which is usually not a lot, but they are the talkative ones. They always loud. I mean, Siamese have always been loud. That seem like they
Mm.
want to say something to us. That's how Nipsey was. So yeah, I definitely see different. I could usually tell the pecking orders. I could see who probably the main mama is, and I definitely could see the testosterone neck filled bully boy that's
Yeah.
probably, he wandering around slow motion like he owned the block.
'Cause they usually do. So those
Yeah,
big
they
dudes, they usually
right.
do. So, do you notice any behavioral changes in those cats after TNR, like, as you're going to maintain the colony?
Oh, yeah. The boys calm down considerably over time. Like, once they get
Mhm.
fixed, they calm down so much. The only thing that's funny about the calicos, the girls, they usually know they remember me and they like wanna go into traps because they already ear tipped and fixed, so they like,
Yeah.
"He's just gonna let us in the trap and we'll eat and just go back. He gonna let us
Yeah.
out, so let's just keep doing it. Let's just follow him
Yeah.
around." So they'll follow me, but I do see the behavior calm down, and even as far as the neighbors, like, because a lot of people never understand why it's like, I got a dead mouse on my steps, and it's like, well, you feed that cat, right?
Mhm.
That's a gift. They're giving you a gift. That calms down. The hunt, as much as they
Yeah.
hunt, that calms down when they're fixed. Like they don't do as much crazy stuff. It's not a lot as fighting. You don't hear as many of the fights at all because most people think it's just fights, and I'm like, they might be mating, unfortunately.
Yeah, it sounds the same.
Yeah, it's all the same, but but you hear so much less of that. You
Yeah.
hear less of that, and again, with maintaining a colony and keeping them out of sight, like feeding them behind bushes somewhere where they're not in the streets or near roads or where people can that don't like them will see them. You
Mhm.
see a lot less cats being in the street, getting hit by cars and things like that because they have the area and they're not as big as crazy risk takers anymore. Like
Yeah.
they definitely calm down a whole lot.
Testosterone is a crazy drug.
Oh my goodness, boy, it's doing something to the world.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
whoo, hoo, hoo, hoo.
we could get into
Whew,
that and the whole thing
yeah.
about compassion being
Whew.
cool.
Huh.
Uh, that's a whole other podcast. We have a lot of podcasts to start, my guy.
Yeah,
We've got
we
a
got
lot of
multiple
podcasts to
we
do.
got a lot of podcasts. A lot of
So
podcasts here.
many, so many podcasts to do. But from your perspective, is there a big misunderstanding that people have about feral cats and feral cat behavior that you would want to correct?
Well, okay, it's 2 things. One of them is hilarious. Let me say this first. One of them is hilarious is I guess it goes back to the guy not wanting his cat to lose his manhood. We gotta
Yeah.
stop putting these human things on cats. I had a woman that called me for weeks about coming to take one cat out of the neighborhood that I already fixed because she felt like that cat was gay and trying to make her male cat gay.
Are you
And that was her whole
serious?
and she was so serious. She was like, "Why he be licking on him like that then?" And I was like, "You mean grooming him?" And I was like, "Man, I don't." I mean, it took a minute because I was like, "I think you joking with me. I think you joking with me, but I don't want to be insensitive because
Yeah.
maybe you don't know what you're saying." But grooming, I was like, first of all, the cat ain't gay. I don't like,
Yeah.
and I'm not coming to remove a cat that I already fixed. It's
Yeah.
fine. You could keep your cat in the house and stop letting it be indoor outdoor if you're worried about that. But whatever you're worried about, it's not gay. So if
Yeah.
I've heard that too many times. Grooming is it could be a form
It's
of
a
pecking
bonding
orders and it's
behavior.
a bonding
Yeah.
thing. It's a lot of things. It's not that. So
It's
that's
not
one
sexual.
it's not
Yeah.
sexual. And it's not like us. Like that woman cat. I've had a woman tell me, "Hey, don't get her fixed. She has a right like a woman to have children too one day." And she do that. I'm like, it's not the same thing for that. She's getting raped in the streets.
Yeah.
It's a totally different thing. So those are some misconceptions about the gay thing and about the cat's rights to have babies. Those are 2 things that I hear a lot of, and it's like, that's not what this is. That's not that's just not what it is. Also,
Yeah.
of course, the bad luck thing with black cats.
I heard that a lot in my old neighborhood. So much when I would trap black cats, and I had a lot of we have 3 black cats in our house now, but yeah, always the dudes that hung around the deli and stuff, they'd be like, "No, you can't trap that cat. That's bad luck. Like, just leave it alone." And blah. I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah,
that's so
that's
dumb."
the bad
I
luck. And then the cat is attacking me thing. I've heard that, like, you're not gonna walk past a bush and the cat just see you and randomly wanna jump out
no.
at you. That cat, more than likely, that cat is nursing. That's a mama cat nursing in those bushes. If she jumped out at you, she's not just some crazy cat that wanna kill all humans. You probably walk by where she's nursing her babies, and just like any other mother, she's gonna protect her babies. So, but no, cats aren't chasing after people in the street. I've heard people be like, "No, I'm telling you, the cat hate me." No, the cat don't hate you. It's not doing that. It's not. So
Yeah.
those are some of the misconceptions. And as far as related to the cats is the crazy cat lady thing. Like she's not crazy. The older lady at the end of your block that's spending her social security check to take care of those cats is not a witch. She's not crazy. She's just compassionate and she's helping keep the community clean, actually. Like, so those are some misconceptions. I really hate that crazy lady, the witch up the street. And I'm like, well, how
Yeah.
does why y'all just deemed her a witch because there's a lot of cats? Like, she's spending her social security money to feed these cats. Like, it would be crazier if she wasn't here. So it's a
A lot of
lot.
times I think a lot of times people and I think a part of the reason that crazy cat lady thing exists is that people, specifically a lot of times straight men, get upset that women are spending their time helping someone that's not them.
Which is wild because
Yeah.
I mean, nurturing is women nurture. I mean,
Right.
that's a thing regardless. So I don't, I think if you put a woman in any situation, she's gonna nurture something. She's gonna make something better. She's gonna be doing it anyway. So
Yeah.
it don't have to just be for you. It's cool.
And I've heard that also from friends of mine who've had kids, that the man will
Uh,
get angry at
yeah.
the mom giving the baby
Yeah.
attention and compassion, right?
I've
Like,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's that because it's not the focus on that dude, that the dude's like,
Yeah.
"Well, rah," like, it's very strange. Like, they want you to
Yeah.
be compassionate, but only towards them. They want you to be caring, but only towards them, and so if that's not where the focus is, then it's crazy.
I've seen that a lot with men and children, like, being
Mhm.
and they'll be jealous of the I don't have any children myself, and I can't imagine being that way, but I do think it is it definitely is a thing because 'cause I've heard women that I trap with, they've been with men and they're like, "I think he jealous of my cats."
Yeah.
And I've ended dates over it. I've literally ended dates. Like we've had a great date. Woman comes over, she see the cat. She like, what is that? I'm like, don't
Oh,
say
yeah.
that. He has a name. His name is Rick. His name is Rick James. Don't do that. And she like, I don't know if I could deal with this. Like, I don't think you're a straight man. You got your nails painted. You got cats. I don't think you're a straight man. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Because I got cats and my nails are painted? Like, what?
That
It helped me so much. Like, I have, like, a ton of friends in rescue. Of course, it's all women, but it's good. Like, we do good because and they say the same thing. Like, one of my friends, she was like, "I've never liked a man a day in my life, but
yeah.
I could see myself being with you, Sterling. And I don't even like men." But she was
Yeah.
like, "I like your heart. I respect how you feel. I think your mama raised you right." But it's so rare. It's so rare that guys will try to even understand that. So we put that hyper masculinity and stuff on everything. And it's in this cat world. It's in the rescue. It
Yeah.
happens. We put genders on animals. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I know. Yeah. America. Yay. I mean, there's a whole other podcast there, like America and hypermasculinity and its origins and colonialism and any
Woo.
okay, okay.
I definitely one thing I would love to talk about is so much of what we've been saying, what I'm working on going forward is One Up. I have a campaign called One Up, One United
Mhm.
Paw. And One United Paw is myself, two of my close friends, Sally and Aaron. They both work for an organization called Mission Meow. But we started One United Paw and it's basically that. It's the relationship between people in animal rescue and animal welfare. It even
Mhm.
goes as far as breeders because as a rescuer, I don't like breeding at all. I don't really have respect for how it's done. But even with One United Paw, it's an attempt to communicate with everybody that's in it.
Sure.
Like to some extent, because we see what politics look like and it's just fight, 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 and things aren't getting done. It's just a fight, fight. Everybody is getting to the point to where I'm gonna go lower. Well, you went that low,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go lower. I'm worse. I'm worse. I'm worse. And it gets to be too much. So One United Paw is just about the rescue people coming together because compassion fatigue and burnout is not coming from the actual animals. We knew
No,
when we got
yeah.
started. We knew when we got started. Most of us got started because we saw a cat or a dog, they eyes popping out, they head, they on the streets, they tied up to a fence. It touched us and we got into it. So we're expecting to see the animals hurt and go through that. But what we don't expect is that I'm gonna come out with these two traps and somebody that's doing the same thing will say, all you did was catch two cats? Nothing. I caught 30 the other day. You need to do something better. You're not doing enough.
Yeah.
You having fun? You doing something outside of cats? You got time for yourself? Oh, you're not a real rescuer then. You're not. So we burn each other out. We burn each other out. So One United Paw is really trying to bring people together and have those conversations of, if you going in this community, if you going in this area, here's how you should be. Here's how we should work. Let's work together. Let's do this instead of so much competition because it's brutal. As the great work that we do is still brutal because I will one of anything is gonna make it bad.
Mhm.
Like cat rescue have been older women, and if that's the only one doing it, then of course it's gonna get bad. If you
Yeah.
had just a bunch of black men, then it would be pissing contests all day long. Like, it would become toxic. Anything when it's one diversity is better. The best profitable, peaceful everything in anything, diversity is better. It's better to have diverse communities. So, One United Paw is just really trying to bring the rescuers together because we can set the traps and we can get the funds. We can raise funds, but one thing that we not doing is helping one another. We're not compassionate towards one another. Some of the meanest things I've seen is one rescuer talk to another rescuer. And it's
I
almost
know.
like, wow, you gonna break that person down and they're not gonna want to do it anymore. And I've seen it on posts. It's one thing for somebody to come at me because people know me and a lot of people say good things to me. So that's
Mhm.
great. So when somebody say something bad, it's kind of like, well, this is one bad comment versus the 80 great comments. So I don't take it. But if
Yeah.
somebody just started and they're not getting a bunch of great comments, and the first and only comment they get is from somebody saying, well, that's stupid. You're dumb. You're doing it wrong. They gonna quit. They don't want to
Yeah.
do this no more. They don't like us. They don't like our community because they think those cat animal people are weird. It's like that. I'm vegan now, and it's like that in the vegan community. We don't attract anybody by just,
Yeah.
oh, you drinking milk. It's not that doesn't attract anybody. So
No.
One United Paw is something that I'm really working on, and it's focused towards the people because it's the people. We need the help. We're burning each other out. We love the cats and we're gonna do for the animals everything we can, but we have to be a little more compassionate towards one another. So that's what One United Paw is all about. And I've been trying to push it. You'll be seeing more shirts with one up on them soon. It's kind of cool, but when I go to different cities, I want to have just different fun meetups. Like we take
Yeah.
some pictures, we go out to eat, and you just meet your fellow rescuers, the person that's been probably right around the corner from you trapping that you for whatever reason don't like, y'all are on the same team so y'all can get to know
Yeah.
each other. So
That's a great idea, and I wonder also how much of the burnout that I think a lot of us have experienced, and certainly know people who have experienced, how much of it comes from the lack of resources that are allocated in so many communities. Some communities
yeah,
have good resources, like New York City when I started had great resources. The shelter would, ACC, which is New York City's open intake shelter, animal care and control, would give you $150 for every cat that you got adopted out, which was amazing. So, like, if you
that's
took a mom
amazing.
and her kittens, that would pay for the most of the vetting and all of that. That money dried up forever ago. But
Yeah.
they had that, and then but then there's the ASPCA mobile spay and
Oh
neuter
yeah.
van, and then their setups, which once you're in the network, like you can sign up for the appointments. Again, then I came out here to Connecticut, and there's nothing. There's not one available resource from your town, your city, or your state. And so everything is you're paying yourself to go to a private vet. And so every TNR costs me $900, which is crazy, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's going to burn you
That's
out a lot faster. So, not to make this
yeah.
an example of me, but I think it burns out people really fast when there's no resources and there's no community help at all.
Yeah, I mean, you like I said, you think there's no resources, a spay and neuter, like even here in California, low cost out here is probably like 200. That's what
Yeah.
but when I lived in Atlanta, there was a time, especially before the pandemic. I mean, that was like
I
$25,
was going to
$30
say,
as
I
long as
remember
you
that.
brought them, as long as they came inside traps and you
Mm-hmm.
understood they would be ear tipped.
Yep.
You could get a spay and neuter for like $25. And now it's like, dude, it's nothing. You can't do anything for $25. We're not gonna do anything. We won't even look at them for $25.
I
So it's like
know.
that's definitely a lot of the burnout. That's why I say, like what we were saying before, talking about the older woman at the end of the block taking care of the cats, being mean to her or calling her a witch. You don't understand how much it's costing her to buy that food. It's nobody helping her. She probably lost family members. These are probably her family members now, and she's feeding and taking care of them. It's not cheap for her.
Yeah.
So yeah, that burnout and compassion fatigue, it definitely comes from other people, and I'm hoping One United Pod, things like that. I've started things like it before that I tried to get off the ground. I had a thing called it's a Facebook group called Rescuing the Rescuers now,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually started that group and just couldn't maintain it. So I have friends that's running it now, but I've been trying to do that since I've seen people in our environment fight, in our world fight, since I've seen it, and I've seen that's usually where people give up at. I've never heard somebody really say, I just can't do it because of the cats or the animals no more.
Yeah.
It's usually like the cost. I can't do the prices. My health is bad, and these people are driving me crazy. You know, it's just like with me. I tripped over Nipsey and Nipsey hurt, and I got him at the vet. I don't know what my ankle was doing. We'll find out about that later.
Oh, no.
I just need to get my baby right.
Yeah.
So, but that's the rescuer mentality. Like we would kick our own butts. So the last thing we need is other people kicking our butts. So I'm hoping one united paw. That's what TrapKing is really looking forward to help the relationships between rescuers. That's how we will be stronger. That's how we'll change laws. If we walk to these councilmen and in these courtrooms and we're united, genuinely united, then we'll make and diverse too, because I've heard so many men say that, oh, that's just those crazy ladies. We're not gonna pay attention to them. That's how you feel about that, huh? Like, forget what they talking about. It was just a group of women, so let's just ignore it.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised. Yeah.
One united paw. That's what
Yeah.
I want us. I want us united and stronger together. So.
Well, how can people find out more information? Where should people go on the internet to find you or to find more information about One United Paw? Like,
So
what do people
right now, there is an Instagram page for One United Paw, or you could probably find it if you come to my page on Instagram, the original TrapKing on Instagram, TrapKing and Sterling Davis on Facebook, and also the website www.trapkinghumane.com.
Okay.
You can find all of the stuff that's going on, and I'm usually, like I say, on my Instagram and Facebook stuff, you'll see the bald guy with a ton of cats in every post. So yeah, it's hard.
How many cats do you have personally?
Personally, right now I have 3. So my oldest, Demita Joe, she was my bottle baby. Demita Joe, that's all my cats are after musicians, my favorite musicians.
I've noticed the theme.
So I've loved music. So Demita Joe is Janet Jackson's middle name. Nipsey Cuddle is from the rapper Nipsey Hussle, who I loved. Alanis Morissette, I think that goes without saying.
Yeah.
I think Alanis is the greatest of all time. I know every song off Jagged Little Pill. It's not up for debate. I had a Taylor Swift, Alanis Morissette argument the other day, and I was like, we're not gonna have this argument. I like Taylor, but Alanis is something different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my babies. I got 3 at Nipsey, who I'll be picking up from the vet soon. But those are my 3 babies. Even my outdoor babies are named out, like Method Man outside. Charlotte is from Good Charlotte. I have Otis, who is Otis Redding. He's an orange boy. Why not be Otis Redding?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always music themed.
That's cute. I love it. Well, thank you so much for having this chat with me. It was so nice to meet you, and this was a really fun discussion. And
Thank you for having me.
I feel like we could fill another 800 podcasts with offshoot topics.
I'm already like, I need to come back. I need to come back. I be on a lot of interviews. We don't get to any good stuff, and I feel like I have more people saying, I want to know how you feel about certain things more than just, because it's always just cats. If you see me, it's cats. And it's like, TrapKing, how do you feel about this? You don't post nothing but cats. So I'm like, I can talk a little bit more. I have feelings and opinions about other stuff. So.
Well, I never have a shortage of feelings and opinions myself. Problem. So I'm sure my wife loves it. It's so fun living with me. But yeah, anytime, you're always welcome to come back, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to the show. If you're looking for one-on-one support with behavior issues like litter box problems, aggression, anxiety, or multi-cat dynamics, you can find me through my behavior consulting business, Catitude Adjustment, at catitude-adjustment.com. If you like the episode, please consider leaving a rating or review. It really helps us grow. For more episodes, show notes, and resources, head to hisandtellpodcast.com. Huge thanks to Cat Beats for the music, and I'll see you next time.